Earlier today, the Senate passed legislation to address one of the most significant legislative issues on our agenda this year. We made needed reforms to our nation's agriculture and food system. The current Farm Bill expires at the end of September. And before August 31st, we have to address the serious problem with dairy policy, or our dairy farmers will be left without a vital safety net. Now, dairy is a crucial industry in Vermont. We've been on a roller coaster. Let me show the Senate this. This is the roller coaster we've been on in dairy pricing in Vermont since January 2000. Look at that, Madam President. How can any farmer stay in business if this is the way their prices go? How can they plan to buy new equipment? How can they plan to send their children to school? How can they plan to modernize their farm if they never know what day the prices will be up, what day they'll be down? I hear too often from dairy farmers who meet with me or talk to me when I'm at the grocery store in Vermont or just walking down the street. They tell me that they're worried about the dangerous roller coaster of prices and these swings that impact both the producers and the consumers. So for our farmers in Vermont, the dairy reforms included in the 2012 Farm Bill will bring some relief. We have to free our dairy farmers from this destructive cycle of volatile price changes. Mr. President, the current, and if anybody's watching this will wonder why we've gone from Madam President to Mr. President, the presiding officer was the distinguished senator from New Hampshire, former Governor Senator Shaheen, now replaced by the equally distinguished senator from Delaware, Senator Coons. But I'd say this, Mr. President, the current federal safety net provides no protection for dairy farmers from this roller coaster of price volatility. So let me say again, these are the roller coaster of prices in the dairy industry. These are the swings that have impacted our producers and consumers. And finally, with a current federal safety net which provides no protection for dairy farmers from this roller coaster of price volatility, now we will have some protection if this bill will be passed and signed into law. The 2009 dairy crisis brought plummeting milk prices, but at the same time it brought sky-high feed costs, and that combined to devastate dairy farmers in ways that many were unable to recover from. Many had to close down. Let us stop that roller coaster. Let's give stability to the hard-working men and women of our dairy farms. And one reason we're able to do this in this bill, dairy farmers came together, and they worked together to identify ways to move us away from the regional dairy fights and the constant policy conflicts we had between small and large farms. And the results of the changes included in the 2012 Farm Bill. And these are going to help both farmers and consumers move away from these price swings. The 2012 Farm Bill scraps outdated price supports in the Milk Income Loss Contract Program. It establishes a new risk management plan that protects farm income when margins shrink dangerously, a stabilization program to allow farmers to take a proactive role in easing the instability in our dairy markets. And, Mr. President, it accomplishes this at a lower cost than the current program that it replaces, while contributing to the savings in this bill. It's a voluntary program. It can be tailored by the farmer to fit individual needs. Now, dairy is Vermont's largest agricultural commodity. Dairy products account for upward of 83% or 90%, depending on market prices, of Vermont's agricultural product sales. I am proud that the dairy farmers of Vermont had a voice in developing this farm bill, and enacting is going to bring long-needed relief to the industry. So I hope the House can now come together in a bipartisan way, just as we did in the Senate. Quickly pass a bipartisan farm bill. Republicans and Democrats alike in this body came together and showed it can be done. And we know the impact of this legislation goes well beyond our farms and forests to our economy, our families, and our kitchen tables.